Hey guys, good morning. Came across a really great video. Bull of the fifth column was talking about how I guess he got a letter from somebody saying, why is it that he recognized he was wrong about Trump, and he was saying, why is it the left has a smugness in dealing with people who have moved on from Trump? Let's be clear about this. For me, it isn't a smugness. It's a rage. He asked in the letter about how could he have not been fooled, and I can understand that. Part of it's because you wanted to be fooled. I can't say he was dumb or whether he was not dumb without knowing him. But I know Fox News and other alternate media sources are they're mouthpieces for the rich. That's it. I knew that then. The frustration that comes out of what you call smugness is that we're in an era of climate change. That's all around you. It's undeniable. We're in an era of the end of a 20-year-long war fought on the basis of a lie. We're watching a possible war with China, watching a pandemic pop up. And the only thing the right can talk about is transgender bathrooms and stupid shit like that. It's frustrating. And if it comes out as smugness, that's probably because it's how could you have not seen it? To live in a society, to live in democracy, we've got to have basic agreed on things. There's got to be certain things that people recognize is true, is veritas. If people, if a segment of the population cannot recognize certain things as basic truths, we don't have a country. Forget about politics. We don't have a country. So if you call it smugness, if you call it grandiosity, if you call it whatever you want to call it, it's a frustration that how the hell were you so stupid to fall for all of Donald Trump's con men tricks? Not some of them, all of them. You ain't got to be political, but how did you fall for all of them? How did you think that racism and homophobia and hatred against Muslims was going to help you? How did you feed into this? How did you think this? All the money that Trump had for the money that they put into the wall fund. What happened to that wall? What happened to that money? Somebody spent on a boat. All that money spent after Trump lost the election, talking about for legal stuff. They didn't use that money on the case. Was already over with by then. It's a frustration, for me at least, that how could you have not comprehended what Donald Trump was and what he was doing and the significance of the times and how he was choosing not to do anything about some of the gravest predicaments mankind has ever faced. Climate change and other things. Inequality. No, you want to put it on hatred. And there's a sense also that this is greater than Trump. That even if you didn't have a Trump, that you still have issues, it wouldn't be as bad. So that means the problem isn't Trump, right? That means the problem is a segment of the population. So if you want to call it arrogance, if you want to call it smugness, for me it's a rage. For me it is I have a rage inside me that I'm dealing with people who are open enemies to my way of life and who are choosing to disregard basic science and basic facts during what they call the anthropause. I don't know. Thanks for listening. And also the fact that Trump and DeSantis and Greg Abbott, that they're able to use this logic of when it comes to scientific things, we don't know. No, you can go sit down and take an afternoon and read these books and read the things about. You can read if you want to. You didn't want to. You rather fall into the honey nectar trap. You set out for flies. You fell into that rather than fell into a book. or listen to a video from a professor somewhere talk about climate change. If you were able to do that in 2016, what happens the next crisis that we have? The problem isn't Trump. Trump highlighted a problem that we already had in society, and Trump was in office during a once-in-a-century pandemic, during these other things. But Trump isn't the problem. Trump is indicative of the willingness of a segment of the population to sell out the rest of the country. To sell out the rest of the country for a delusion of grandeur, a delusion of what the 50s were like, and this delusion of cheap energy, and that's the problem. That's the smugness. In my case, that's where the rage comes from. Because you can't reason with a person who is unwilling to look at basic facts. Thanks for listening.